All right, you may get a little notice that says the recording has started. Okay, so hi everyone. Thank you for coming. Today's meeting is just an orientation and a refresher about the Interlibrary Loan Courier Service. And I'm just trying to, there's been some turnover at libraries, so I just wanted to give a general overview of what the service does, where it goes, and just where to find information in case you need it, or if for some reason I'm out of the office and not answering emails. So what I'm going to start with is our website. I put the link in the chat and I'm sharing it on my screen. And it has a lot of answers to general information about the Courier. So on the website, it gives some background. This was started by the Green Mountain Library Consortium in a partnership with the Department of Libraries for a pilot courier system in 2015. And it was such an enormous success that we have made it a permanent program, and Department of Libraries took over administration in 2018. So we'll look at the website, and it has the background, it has a little information about how the program works and what the fees are. And for the billing, it is $20 for the first stop, which includes one bin that weighs no more than 50 pounds, and that is a bin in and a bin out. And any additional weekly stops are $21.48 to try and keep it as affordable as possible for those libraries that can only have one delivery. We covered that first $1.48 for every library on the service for that first stop. And then any additional bins, or at this point, it's actually any additional 50 pounds, is an extra $188 each. So that's outlined there. The billing, this does need to be updated because the bills were emailed weekly from Priority Express until the start of January, when they were able to update their accounting software, and they have switched to monthly. So every library on the courier service has submitted a form with Priority Express that gives them a contact email and a billing email. And the billing email listed there is the one that the bills are emailed to. If you haven't been receiving your invoices, let me know. We did run into a problem with, I think it was 3 emails that just a system-wide spam filter was catching them, so people weren't getting their bills. So let me know if you run into any billing problems. And you can also reach out to Priority directly. I'm going to go over their contact information soon as well. So that's the basics on that. And we also have information for libraries currently included in the courier system. So libraries that are in the system have all signed the Courier Service Agreement form, which outlines the responsibilities of the library and the department in this system. And for that, I'm going to be updating it soon. It's a year-long agreement, and this one went from April to April. So I'm going to be sending out a new one in March for all of the libraries to sign again. And the next one is the Courier Statistics. Every library on the Courier service has to report statistics each month. It's partially funded by federal money, so we need to meet the federal reporting standards, which means that every library that is in this service is receiving money from the federal government. It's because they pay part of the warehousing fee, because they pay part of the grants. So every library that is on the form, on the service, needs to send in their statistics. And there is an in-house reporting form. Some libraries have their own reporting form, and that's fine. You can track these statistics in whatever way works best for your library. But the statistics reporting form is linked here, and it outlines all of the information that we need you to submit each month, which is your library, your contact person, what month the statistics are for in case you've fallen behind. It's fine. And then I need to know how many interlibrary loan items you sent, how many you received, how many you sent out via USPS, how many you received via USPS, and an idea of how much you spent on postage. as well as any additional delivery fees. This helps me when I do the yearly report to get a good idea that this is the number of items that were sent, this is the number that were received, and I go with an average amount for a postage estimate to show how much money the system saves. And that helps us keep it as showing that, yes, it is a huge benefit and a huge money saver for libraries all across Vermont. And this is also where you would report if you're satisfied with the turnaround time or not. There was an issue in the fall and a little bit into the winter for there was a big lag, and so everyone on the system, you all started dating things, and it really helped us pinpoint where that problem was. So if there's a large number of libraries saying, "No, we're not satisfied with the turnaround time," that gives me a push to help the vendor say, "Look, this is not working. We need you to look into this." So all of this information that you give us, it really helps. And then any additional comments that you might have. And then after that, I have all of the resources for libraries that are on the service. I have the schedule. It will always show when it was last updated. I updated it on the 23rd to update the Heartland labels. And then I have it in it's two different formats, but three different areas. So we have a PDF that you can download, and then an embedded PDF if you don't want to wait for it to download and open. Then I also have it in an Excel format for anyone who wants to update any of the Clover codes or just have the data in a manipulative form so that you can change it around and look at it in a specific way. And then we have a label for each of the participants. So if you open any of the schedules, they will also have a link for each of the libraries. And on those, once it loads, you'll see over here it says mailing label. If you are looking at your labels and you say, "Oh, I'm running low on labels for Cabot," you can just click there and it will open the label for Cabot and you can print them off, cut them up, and file them away. So you don't have to open the big file of all of the labels every single time. There's an easy way to grab just what you need. And one of the top questions I get is actually, how do I get a label for Department of Libraries? And Department of Libraries is on here. We're listed under D instead of V because it was Department of Libraries instead of Vermont Department of Libraries. But we are listed there and we do have our own label. Okay, and the last part that I wanted to bring up specifically on this website, there's two more actually. There is the report and issue form. This is questions that used to be on the monthly statistics form, but if there is an issue with the courier, it's a lot easier for me to track it if it's submitted as it's happening. So when I made this change, I sent out emails on the listserv, but if you are running into they did not show up for a stop, or something was lost, or something is damaged, or there's a billing error, or any other error on their part, I would love for you to either email me directly or fill this out as it occurs, because that helps me make sure it's fixed. And it's a lot easier to fix these in real time as opposed to waiting until the end of the month and then hearing about them. So I ask that you either fill this out or contact me directly anytime there's an issue, because I am happy to help. It's why I'm here. And one final spot that I wanted to show you is there is an FAQ page. And it has a lot of questions about the delivery, what courier bags you can use, about the labels, the limits on the bins, and just a lot of general information. And some of them I get questions about, and some of them I don't. But if there are any other questions that you think should be included in the FAQ, I would love for you to tell me, because I want to make that information as easy to access for you as possible. Okay, so that is the Courier website and the schedule. And sorry, I'm checking things off on the agenda as I go through. Okay, I did want to make sure you have the contact information for the courier as well. So it is on the FAQ page and it's sent out on the listservs. But if you ever have a problem with the courier or you need to reach out to them, their email address, it is in here, right here. I think what I'm going to do is also update the courier page and just put this front and center for you. They can be reached at libraries@prioritysameday.com. And I just sent this out on the listserv as well because we do have town meeting day next week. And town meeting day is not a federal holiday, so the courier plans on making deliveries. So if you are closed on town meeting day, then you would need to contact them to reschedule or cancel your stop. And I just put, there's their email address. And if you ever run into a problem with inclement weather or sudden illness and you have to close that day, then you should give them a direct call. And that phone number is also in the chat. So the email is libraries@prioritysameday.com. And the phone number is 802-862-2828, option 1. And that will get you directly to their dispatch, who will let you know if you can still cancel that day. I believe the cutoff time they ask for is 7 or 7:30 in the morning. So you may need to call the night before if you're worried about bad weather. Okay. So that is the website. If you let me know any other information that you think should be posted there or any questions to add to the FAQ, this is supposed to be a resource for you. So I want to make sure it's actually useful to you. And if you have any questions about that, just let me know. I know the leading question on the courier listserv right now is we need more bags, and we are sending them out as we get those. And I am hoping for more federal money because if we do, I am ordering a lot of bags. But we have not run out. I'm not sure where they are, but based on the numbers that have been reported, there's enough bags in the system. So I'm still trying to figure out that problem. Okay. So I do have a couple of items to go over that were not listed on the agenda. The first one is the preferred lender list. When you join the courier, you get the preferred lender list, and that you get to put into Clover so that your requests go to other courier libraries first. That helps you save on postage. It helps the other courier libraries save on postage. So I would like to make sure that everyone is using the preferred lender list. There are some that don't have that set up, and you really should, because otherwise it's leaning heavily on libraries that haven't been able to join the courier, or it's also still going to school libraries first because there's a lot of school libraries in Clover. So you should be using the preferred lender list. It doesn't stop your requests from going outside of the courier if you need it to. And for libraries that do not want their request to go beyond the courier library, that is fine. We can use the preferred lender list, but then there's also a blocked lender list. And I've mentioned it before, in the blocked lender list, I do have a list of Clover codes for libraries that are not on the courier. And what that will do is it will stop your request from going to anyone outside of the courier. It does not stop you from receiving requests for libraries that are outside of the courier, because part of the agreement with joining the courier is that you will not deny service or loaning to libraries that are not on the courier. So it does give you a new level of control over your requests. And if you are one of the libraries that don't want your requests to go outside of the courier, it cuts down on the number of times you have to write a note that says courier libraries only, which is sometimes missed if someone doesn't open the full view of the request. So I just wanted to pitch those for you again. And I can follow up this meeting by sending out the preferred lender list and the blocked lender list for anyone who needs them. The next reminder I have is that every library on the system has their own label. That includes the partner libraries. So there are some schools like People's Academy partnered with Morrisville. So there is a label specifically for People's Academy. So if you are sending items to them, I ask that you use that because when it gets to the library, it makes it easier for the libraries to sort them. I also would like to remind you that Greensboro was a partner library. Greensboro has had their own stop since October, and you've probably seen the reminders from myself and from Judavine that they are still receiving items for Greensboro. So everyone really needs to recycle the old Greensboro labels and start using the new ones, which are linked in the schedule. And that might be my last reminder. And you should also make sure that you have someone in your library who is subscribed to the Courier listserv. I grabbed that email from you when you signed the Courier service agreement, but if staffing changes and no one tells us this person left, this person needs to be added, then we don't make that change. So if you're wondering if someone in your library is receiving those, or if someone just left and you have a new person, just reach out to us and we can update that listserv. That's where I send out all of the information for the grants. It's where I send updates on the courier, and it's where all the communication about courier related items happens. So that is it. It's a very brief overview, and it's been a great system, and it's had its problems, but it's also been really helpful to libraries throughout the state, and I'm still hoping someday it will be statewide. So I would love any questions that you have. You can put them in chat. You could unmute yourself. Just let me know. All right. Oh, did you say you were going to send us a link on how to set up our preferred lenders? Yes, I am happy to send out information on setting up preferred lenders. I will also send any information on blocked lenders as well. And really using blocked lenders is up to the individual library. It depends on how much control you want over how far your requests go. But yes, I will send all of that out.
April, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I just had a quick question about when our books end up in the not received category. So if there's a book that's been sitting there, who should we contact about that, or what's the protocol for following up on that?
I would start with either myself or with the library that sent it. And if they confirm, yes, we sent it on this day and it's still missing, then I reach out to the courier myself. So yes, if you wanted to send one email to myself and the library that sent it, that covers both bases, and I'll reach out to the courier.
Okay, great. Thank you.
There are some, so not received is also sometimes a little tricky because originally the default was set up as 15 days and then it would move to not received. And some lenders have changed it to a shorter period, and lenders control how quickly something they have sent moves to not received. And I think the shortest time period I saw was 4 days, where it was set up so that if it wasn't received by then. So it depends on when they sent it and what their own settings are, but the solution definitely is reach out to me and the lender.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question that might seem really silly, but on the statistics, you do report when a book goes out and comes in the courier box, right? Like even if it's the same book.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to double check that I was doing that.
Yep. I'm aware that causes it to be counted twice because the library counts it as sent and you get it counted as received, but I factor that in when I'm doing my annual report as well.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Thanks, Lynn. All right. So if there aren't any other questions, just know that you can reach out to me anytime with any questions. I am going to post this on the Courier program webpage, and I will send this out on the Courier list along with the instructions for preferred and blocked lenders. And thank you everyone for showing.